Hi, welcome to Between Sundays. My name is Hannah,
And I'm Camden.
and today we're talking about challenging church culture. So I'm 28. I've been involved in ministry my whole life, and I've been specifically employed at Deer Meadows for about 4 years now.
I am 21 years old, and I've been in ministry mostly since high school, and I've been employed at Deer Meadows for a year to a year and a half if you count my internship a couple summers ago.
So why does that matter today? So today we're talking about ministry under 35, because both of us are under 35. So I guess that means we need to start with, what does it mean to be in ministry?
That's kind of a hard question.
It is. Well, let's start with, what is ministry?
Ministry, I think ministry is being the church outside of the church building. Getting out, spreading the good news, spreading Jesus's words in your own communities.
Yeah. Well, one of the things we say at Deer Meadows, our statement of faith is to be a community of faith following Jesus Christ, where you live, where you work, and where you play. And we think that ministry is, again, sharing the good news of Jesus to those in your community and in your daily life. But also, ministry isn't just about being at church. It's about being with your people day in and day out. So the grocery store, you can minister to your family, your siblings, your kids, your parents, whomever's in your life, ministering to your coworkers. Camden and I are blessed that we get to be employed to do ministry. Like we get to, this is our job, is to help minister to people. But you can also be ministering to people in and out, day in and day out, wherever you are. So that's, to us, I think, what ministry means.
Yeah.
So going off of that, Camden, how did you get embedded in ministry?
Well, my freshman year of high school, I heard rumors about a student band starting up. We'd had some in the past, but they all just kind of fell through. But one of the student leaders decided to take it on and start up a new student band, and they needed a guitar player, so I tried out and got in the band. And just throughout my 4 years of high school, I ended up leading the band. And now, even after I graduated, I'm the adult leader in the band. And that just kind of sparked my interest for ministry. And ever since then, I've felt like that's kind of been my calling, is to go into student ministry and just live out that calling to lead students to Jesus.
Mine's not as exciting. But my parents were deeply involved in kids ministry while I was growing up. And so because of that, they kind of turned kids ministry into our family ministry. And so my siblings and I were raised to be around kids ministry. Like, even if we were involved in the events, we always helped set up, and we helped promote church events for kids. And that slowly grew as we got older, into like watching babies in the nursery and helping out in our youth ministry growing up. And then in college, we had college ministry. And now as an adult, somehow I've moved to Jacksonville, and now I'm here, and it's great.
Working in adult ministry.
Yeah, and we've been very, very blessed I was very blessed to get offered a position here at Deer Meadows, and so here we are, 4 years later.
Yeah.
At Jacksonville. So, all right, so kind of going off of that this time, how would you encourage people over 35 to help encourage people under 35 to participate in ministry?
I would say just kind of step one is build that foundational relationship. It's not always a great tactic to just go up to a random person and say, oh my gosh, you should help in this ministry, although sometimes it does work. But I think it's very important just to build that foundational relationship, and maybe just kind of tell them what you do in your ministry and how it affects you and the people around you. And I think that'll really bleed into their lives, and they could even find their calling through that.
Yeah, I agree. I think a lot of times, if people see that you're excited to be in ministry, they see something that you're passionate about, and they're like, I want that passion too. And it may not be the exact same ministry that you're involved in. Like, personally, I seem very extroverted, but being on the greeting team gives me a lot of anxiety. And so being on the greeting team is not something that I desire to do. So I serve in other ways. I like to joke that I serve behind the scenes, but I play in the orchestra. So you
are
can see
in
me
the
on the
scenes.
stage. Yeah. But I kind of hide behind my stand. And so, but a lot of what I choose to do tends to be a little bit less up front so definitely encouraging people to discover their niche. But if you can show that you're passionate about your ministry and the things that you're involved in, even if it's just inviting them to a small group on a Wednesday night or a Sunday, that's a way to get people plugged in. So really our goal would just be to get their foot in the door of different ministries. So our next topic is the changing culture and church. So there's this new generation rising up, and the way that they approach church is a little bit different than how it was traditionally, even just a couple of decades ago. So for example, like my generation, although we kind of lean surprisingly more towards a very traditional church style, like we also enjoy the modern style. So we like modern music, but we also really like one of the things that drew Tyler, my husband, and I to Deer Meadows is the stained glass windows outside. They're gorgeous.
They are.
But you don't see a lot of churches with stained glass anymore.
Sadly.
So, I mean, that's more of an aesthetic thing, but we like a nice balance of traditional and modern, and other people probably prefer.
My generation goes towards that concert style with the lights down low and the neon spotlights and just very loud. You may need to bring earplugs or something, which I don't mind. I guess I'm an oddball out of my generation, and I lean towards the more traditional style too, but I don't find anything wrong with the concert style. It feels a lot like camp rather than Sunday morning worship, which I guess can be good in ways, but
it's not my preference, but I can see why some people would like it. Also, to kind of go in line with that, we're also noticing that lots of churches, particularly since the pandemic in 2020, are leaning more towards an online church style, and that poses some different challenges as well, doesn't it?
Yes, yeah. I think the pandemic really showed us that there's a whole new way to do ministry. And I think some churches kind of just stuck with that rather than trying to get their people back into their building, which there's nothing wrong with doing online church at all, like especially if it's physically a need for you, like you can't leave your house or you have physical ailments where you have to stay at home. But I don't know, I think there's ups and downs to it.
It's a great opportunity for you to personally grow your faith, and you can still participate in ministry where you live, where you work, and where you play. The only thing is that I think you're kind of missing out, or not you, but in general, people are kind of missing out on the in-person culture. And I think there's something to say about personal community that is grown through in-person church. That's just a really cool benefit of being on campus. So tying onto online, how does that challenge churches worldwide? And I think you and I are examples of that. There's this new way of trying to get people through the doors of the church. And Camden and I help run the social media account here at Deer Meadows. Mostly Camden, but I participate.
You're in it.
So what has been the biggest challenge with that?
Oh, probably honestly just finding content to actually do and post. I think our main goal with our social media is to minister to a specific group of people who maybe they are online viewers and they're just kind of visiting our church through our online services, or maybe they're just scrolling on social media and they're like, oh look, a church. Oh look, it's in Jacksonville, I live here. So I think it's just trying to find content that's relatable, but also not content that's like 5 minutes long and you have to sit there and watch the whole thing. We mostly stick to like 30 seconds to a minute. But yeah, just finding content.
Well, and especially content that's good for all generations.
Right.
Because we have different platforms and different users on each platform. And
Stuff that
And-
can go on Facebook and Instagram.
Yeah,
So-
and it's challenging to find content that people are willing to share with people that they know. Our goal is to have people share what we're producing to try and encourage their friends and their family to come to church with them. And that's been a big challenge, is we're getting the views and stuff, but it's really hard to get people invited into church.
Yeah.
And but it's there, and
Yeah.
the more people we can reach.
Yeah, so if you see those
Better.
videos online, they're made for invitational use. So send them to your friends and family.
We want the truth about Jesus to reach as many people as we can. And it's not
Yes.
about just the content, but it is about spreading the good news of the gospel. So thank you so much for joining us today. We hope you liked this episode. If you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We also want to encourage you to reach out to us. You can send us your questions or ideas for new episodes to questions@dearmeadows.org. Until next time, bye!